possibility.
Birdie attempt.
They did see, right?
They saw me.
That's a birdie.
Moves into a three-way tie for second place. Oh, my goodness, the bonus. Leaderboard gravity, though, will soon make things more clear. Dashing hopes for some, raising them for others, changing a life for one. It's Friday at the Masters.
This is the Morning Rush.
So I don't know about you, Tommy, but I've almost felt like I've been in Augusta the last couple of days with the opens that Colton made. He shifted up a little bit. It's Fastball Friday, our first Fastball Friday of the season with college basketball ending. We'll shift more of our gear, more to our focus to the college baseball series, not only in Athens this weekend, but lies ahead for Arkansas baseball. You're still in Phoenix, but I know your eyes have been happening what's going on in Augusta. I just downloaded the Masters app about 45 minutes ago. I don't know how I didn't have that on my phone previously, but went ahead and did that. Justin Rhodes leads the way after day one.
Yeah, and, and Fastball Friday brought to you by QC Kinetix. I'll tell you more about them in just a second. It could have went out, staying downtown, found a great spot, hit some bars and restaurants, but I stayed in the room last night like a boring guy, working on some stuff, and mainly because I want to watch the Masters. And they had the encore on last night, and that is such a beautiful scene there. And you talk about Justin Rose, who had a dominant first round. He bogeyed 18, or he should be at after hitting a tee shot right, should be at 8 under par as we begin the second day. QC Kinetix, the nation's leader in relieving your pain. Does it feel like when you get out of bed every morning, you just creak and you pop and your joints hurt and they're not working the way they need to? Say no to drugs, surgery, and downtime. If that's the picture your doctor is painting, QC Kinetix is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. That's joint preservation to get you moving again and doing all the things you love without surgery, drugs, or downtime. 479-999-1234 is their number. 999-1234 for QC Kinetix.
So I was debating when it came to an audio clip this morning. Do we clip just the sound of pee hitting the urinal with what occurred yesterday? I thought this was a joke. I guess I just missed this yesterday. I saw a college kid out there, I guess the Arizona State kid. But I am still amazed at what happened with Jose Ballester, Tommy. Now I've seen this happen. I mean, I've seen it happen at public courses, municipals, country clubs. I mean, guys just pee. Like they fairways, side of the green. They just do it. Like that's just it's commonplace in the golf world. But I never thought on a sports talk radio forum that we would be discussing a guy peeing at the Masters on the 13th hole close to the green. I thought this was a joke. I thought this was a spoof. I thought this was an April Fool's Day thing a week and a half later. But no, this actually happened, and it was a 21-year-old kid that I'd be curious to see ever makes it to Augusta National after this weekend ever again.
When you got to go, right? So, I mean, what do you sometimes you don't have options, right?
Here's what he said about it.
That we had those restrooms on the left of the tee box.
Oh, okay. 13th tee.
Yes, correct. And then I'm like, I really need to pee. Didn't really know where to go. And since JD had an issue around the green, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sneak here in the river. Probably the people would not see me that much. And then they caught for me. Probably one of the clubs that I really got today, like really loud. So that was kind of funny.
Are you concerned that there might be any blowback from that at all? Or, I mean, obviously they did see you, right?
Yeah, they saw me. They saw me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not embarrassing at all for me. So if I had to do it again, I would do it again.
He'd do it again, Tommy. He'd do it again. I don't know if it's...
I can just tell you, and I don't expect at any point in my life to be invited to play at Augusta National. But I don't think I would take the liberty to pee in the bushes there.
Me either. I'm on.
And listen, I can relate because, listen, and you'll learn this as you get older. When you got to go, you got to go. And I left my meeting yesterday, and I said, I'm going to get to the room, and I got to pee. Well, I get up to the room, and guess what? My room key don't work.
Ooh.
It don't work. So I have to go downstairs. So I'll use the one in the lobby. Guess what? They're cleaning it. Go to the front desk, get a new key. He's on the phone. I said, dude, it's not your fault, but I need you to hurry. So I get it.
We have one
happened to me yesterday, and there wasn't an azalea anywhere nearby.
Behind the scenes look. We have one bathroom here in the studios at ESPN Arkansas, and every once in a while, Tommy has had an experience where he's had to go really, really bad, and someone else has been in that said bathroom. He comes back.
Yeah.
I don't know if writhing and
people in there reading
their
their phones for an hour, and while we got a 4-minute commercial break, and they're in there reading their phone.
Well, that's what the backyard.
Get out of the can.
That's what the backyard is for in certain situations.
May not have done that at the time.
I'll say this. One of my favorite follows on social media is an Instagram account called Scenic Pisses. It's like anywhere in the country, and it has some of the best backdrops you've ever seen. And it's just a guy that's peeing. And it's so serene. I know that sounds odd for some of you listening this morning, but it's spectacular. And then I'm thinking about, I would never, like you, as you just alluded to, neither of us are going to get opportunity to play Augusta National, but I would never in my wildest dreams say that. So I guess we have to pose this question. I don't know if you're saving it for the Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily question. Where's the oddest place you've ever peed? 877-377-6963 on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. I guess
let me put these broadcasting lessons to work here. Let me bring it back to baseball, all right? Because the most famous the most famous urination in all of baseball would have to be Lou Brown peeing on the contract in Major League, right? So that baseball into it. Does Arkansas piss on home plate this weekend at Athens?
Well, Georgia, I'll say this. Georgia get hit.
See, right here, Lou, I don't have to do calisthenics.
Yeah. Sean like that. Sean the Fitzman's here this morning. Sean, you want to answer this question? What are the oddest place you've ever peed? I'll put you on the spot here. Oh, no, you want to avoid this one?
Golly, on the spot.
Ryan in Prairie Grove says, believe it or not, I do not follow the Scenic Pisses Instagram account. But he might now.
Yeah, their numbers are going up today.
He might now. I will say, when I worked in landscaping, I mean, you don't go in the client's house, like you're covered in soot and grass and everything else. So I've peed on clients' properties before, next to a tree or something like that. I tried to stay out of the way and out of sight as best I could. You're talking
to a man there that puts fence posts in the ground. I promise you, they've moistened their products before as they're help that concrete cure.
There's been a few bushes and trees that have been taken advantage of, but if you put me on, I can't say a weird spot, but I can tell you a weird or a uncomfortable situation, because being a person who likes to fish and bass fish, you're on your boat. Sometimes you're out there by yourself, right?
Yeah.
And you're in a cove and there's nobody around, and
you're falling on the boat trying.
You're just right there. So I lay my pole down and start to do my business, and next thing you know, here comes a nice whole load of people in a ski boat right around the corner. Here I am in all my glory.
Yeah.
Still one of my favorite.
Better than having to do the old number 2 off the side of the boat, though.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. One of my favorite scene. You're addressing the major league scene, Tommy. One of my other favorite scenes is the one in Wild Hogs where I guess it Tim Allen, John Travolta, Martin Lawrence, and I'm forgetting the other guy, Woody.
William H. Macy.
Yeah, William H. Macy. They go skinny dipping, and then that family pops in, and the dad realizes that they're naked. Oh, that's one of the best scenes. All right, you mentioned baseball. Let's get into our opening drive. Dave Van Horn talking about Wes Johnson a little bit.
He'd make the comment, it seems like, I want to do what you're doing one day and keep moving up, because it was really hard for him to leave Arkansas to go to the Twins. I'll be honest with you. He was really emotional with me. Like, you could tell that he did not want to leave. He loved Fayetteville, University of Arkansas. Now, probably the way I treated him, because I treat my coaches good. I let him coach. I don't micromanage him. And I think he appreciated that a lot. But it was almost like he had to take the Twins job. And he'll probably tell you that. When he was with the Twins towards the end, he made a few calls to me about a few things. But we'll keep that between Wes and I. And, I'm just glad that he got the job that he was looking for.
This is the opening drive.
All right, so that it was Dave Van Horn talking about his opponent, former assistant coach Wes Johnson, this weekend. Johnson's had a lot of success wherever he's been, whether it's here at Arkansas, getting to the College World Series final. You think about his pit stops at LSU's pitching coach, Paul Skeens, national championship, Minnesota Twins. I think he was at State, if I remember that right. And then also now at Georgia. Tommy, I don't and maybe it's a better question for Phil or Chuck. Historically, I think Georgia's kind of like basketball, where they should be a lot better with their baseball program than they are, being as close to Atlanta. They don't have a lot of history, and yet he has this team as top 10, number one, as I mentioned, in hitting home runs this year. They've busted 90 of them, and this is a heck of a matchup. And Dave talked about it yesterday. This team doesn't win it or lose at home very often.
There's just a lot more skill. We were having a meeting earlier before the show just about skill and what goes into things. And, a lot of things that seem easy or that people don't take as serious, it just gets surface level, and you don't realize what goes into it. People that know what they're doing, people like Wes Johnson, people like Dave Van Horn, there's a reason they're all successful. People think it's easy to build a fence, right, Sean? Yeah, hell, I can do that. There's a lot more skill that goes into getting the 4x4s square and straight, and getting the runners level and straight, and getting the pickets on line. I mean, there's skill involved. Wes Johnson is successful because he knows what he's doing, and he has a lot of skill. And I think it just gets overlooked with a lot of walks of life as the level of skill required. And there's a reason the Twins wanted to hire him, and I promise you there's a reason the Twins didn't want to lose him.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question. And like, as you heard, I mean, it was an emotional, the reluctance term was used when it came to him leaving and stuff. And I like the consistency.
He knew who he's working for. He knew how skilled his boss was.
Yeah, the consistency.
Kind of like you should.
Yeah, that's what I think about when I think of comparisons to Dave Van Horn. I think about Tommy Kraft.
Kind of like you should.
Oh gosh.
Well, how much micromanaging do you get?
None. That is, I will say this. I talked to my dad about this, and I am eternally thankful for a lot of things in life. But I work with someone that does not micromanage me. I have a sheet that I stick by. If he needs something, he emails me, texts me, or asks me, and that's it. It's not looking over our shoulder every day. That is, I mean, if you have a boss like that, you want to, and I would guess, I mean, you heard Dave Van Horn talking about it with Wes Johnson. You don't come across as a micromanager. I could probably ask your employees, and it's like, if we do our job, John just expect he has his expectations.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then if you meet him,
there's still accountability.
We're good.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. There's
still accountability.
Yeah, you got to have that accountability. They all know the expectation that we have out there. But, that's the reason why I keep saying almost every Friday how amazing I'll take my team against any other fence company out there, because my guys know how to manage their jobs. They know how to get it done the right way. And I don't have to be out there on every job site.
Mm-hmm.
I know I have so much confidence in them that when they're done, the customer's going to be happy. My guys actually get tips from their customers, even though, they've paid us full for the fence. They go out there and they give those guys some extra money. And what does that tell you about my guys? That they're going above and beyond for that customer. So I don't have to micromanage.
So we occasionally get additional tips for our live shows that we do. Tommy just hoards all that and keeps it for himself.
He's got to pay his green fees.
Exactly. Sean knows exactly what I'm doing.
It keeps it for itself. But I think you mentioned expectations there for your team, and really the expectations right now, and this could change. I mean, it's mid-April here on April the 11th here on a Fastball Friday, brought to you by QC Kinetix. But I mean, it's early, Tommy, but I think a lot of Arkansas fans are starting to expect this team winds up in Omaha. And I know that hasn't panned out the last 2 years. Last time you were there, I guess, was in 22, so last 3 years, if you want to count that. But this is a situation where, 24-20, I guess it is 2 years. But this is a situation where I think Arkansas fans, as we alluded to this week, and this may be unfair, and however you want to frame it, that's fine. But when you're Dave Van Horn and you've accomplished everything there is under the sun as a college baseball coach, you've had players drafted, you've had 2 Golden Spikes Award winners, regular season title, SEC tournament title, coach of the year, blah, 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 blah. And there's that one, I don't know, void is too harsh of a word, whatever, but there's that one thing. And I don't know if it's fair that fans expect that you have to win it or that you should win it, but that's like the last thing that's there for the taking of sorts when it comes to college baseball and the accomplishments here in Fayetteville.
Yep. All right, that's your opening drive. It's brought to you by our friends at Farm Credit. When it's time to spruce up your existing home or even build a brand new one, trust the experts at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas to help you choose the right financing option that's best for you. Go to myaglender.com or drop by any of Farm Credit's 25 locations today and get started on building more family memories with Farm Credit of Western Arkansas.
All right, and I need to clarify the scenic P account that I was talking about earlier. JT Hot Springs says, did Ty just say he enjoys watching men pee in public places? It barely show. It doesn't show the man. It just shows the stream, and then it shows the backdrop.
Which stream?
The pee stream. I don't like. I'm telling you, and I don't think females would find this amusing or entertaining, but I'm telling you, if you're a man and you look up this account, you will be like, I'm going to follow this. You might think I'm nuts, but I'm telling you that's not the case. We had a message from Curtis on our YouTube channel. He said his craziest place was on a ditch on the side of the road right before the cops caught me. Yeah, it's not always good to pee in public places.
1.5 million followers, Ty. This is a real deal account, and this is beautiful.
It is. Send it to Tommy. I'm telling you, he'll follow. He will not make fun of me from here on out. He will follow it. All right. It is not only a Fastball Friday, but it also is a Fence Man Friday. Let's hear what we did last weekend and see what we can do this weekend when it comes to baseball. Auburn at Florida. Guys, I've got the Gators in this one.
I'm going to take the Tigers.
Let's go, Tigers, baby.
Duke is a 5.5-point favorite, Sean, against Kelvin Sampson's Cougars. I got the Blue Devils advancing, unfortunately, but I've got Duke winning this game.
I got to go with Houston.
All right, so between Houston and Auburn, who's your national champion?
Oh, I'm going to go with Auburn.
All right, Colton, who do you got between Houston and Duke? And then who's your national champion based on that scenario?
He's a grand old flag, so give me Duke. And then I think Duke takes it to win if they go up against Auburn.
I think they only get in 2 games this weekend, Sean.
2 games is the best they're going to do. That field's going to be so.
I'm going to say they're going to get in and be able to squeeze in all 3.
Phil gave me such a hard time last week for predicting that they were only going to get in 2 games. Luckily, they got in 3, and Tommy, like you were talking about and we were talking about, against let's call them a lesser team in the Missouri Tigers, you were able to get a sweep. Arkansas has won 11 straight games heading into this weekend against the Georgia Bulldogs. You are a 1.5-point favorite currently on the Bet Saracen app in game number 1. Tommy, does Arkansas cover that 1.5-point run spread tonight against the Bulldogs?
Yep. I'll take the Hogs.
Sean, what do we think? Can they win this game by 2 or more runs tonight against Georgia? No. I think I think game 1's going to go to Georgia. If I remember correctly, in the Ole Miss series, Arkansas lost that initial game 1 and then won the next 2 of 3. I feel like I have that right. Colton, you might need to double check me on that. But I think Georgia wins tonight's game. Arkansas does not cover or win later on tonight. To go off that, Tommy, how many games go to the Razorbacks this weekend? How many games are they
2.
able to win in a 2 or 3 game series? You got them 2?
2.
Sean, do they win or lose this series this weekend? How many games do you think
they'll win this series? But they're not going to win. I'm like you. They're not going to put the best out tonight. They're going to see what Georgia does, and then the next 2 games they're going to take them all.
Feel them out a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I tend to. I was going back and forth on this as we were getting ready for the show this morning. Georgia, Dave Van Horn talked about it this week. They're really, really good at home. Number 1 team in home runs in the country, which is kind of ironic since Wes Johnson is a pitching coach. Foley Field, I guess, either got some renovations or getting some renovations. Game's at 5 tonight. I think Arkansas, like I said, is going to lose tonight. I do think ultimately they do win the series. They keep it going. They want to stay at top of the SEC and continue as the number 1 team in the country. So I have the Razorbacks, again, winning tonight. We got plenty of games in the Southeastern Conference when it comes to that. Let's go to Texas right now, being what they are as the number 2 team in the country. They're taking on Kentucky this weekend. Tommy, who you got between the Wildcats and the Longhorns as you get ready to play those guys in a few weeks?
Well, Texas is 11-1 for a reason, number 2 in the country for a reason, and I'll take. Are you just asking who's winning the series or tonight?
Just winning the series. Let's just go the series.
Just winning the series. I'll take the Texas Longhorns.
I've got Texas, Sean, winning on the road. They've got an hellacious pitching staff. They are unbelievable. Arkansas's got an edge on them when it comes to hitting, but that's going to be a battle in Fayetteville here in a few weeks. I've got Texas winning this Texas Kentucky series this weekend.
I don't care how great they are. Doesn't matter. I mean,
I knew I loved
can't
you.
do it. Can't do it. Won't do it.
There's always good. The best, outside of the one in Athens, the best SEC matchup of the weekend is in Oxford, Mississippi at Swayze Field as Tony Vitello's Tennessee Volunteers travel to Oxford, Mississippi and take on Ole miss. Tommy, do you got the home team or the visiting orange in this one? I almost said lawn orange, but other orange.
Yeah, the other orange. Gosh, I think this series and these teams are pretty even. I'll go with the home team just to break the edge. So give me Ole Miss.
Ole Miss number 6, Tennessee number 5 in the D1 baseball rankings. I'm also going to take the home team in this one, Tommy. I've got Ole Miss. We going Vols or we going Rebs in this one, Tommy?
There's going to be a lot of Rocky Top being sung today.
All right. Well, he's got Tennessee going on the road this weekend again. Yep. A lot of good SEC matchups, Tommy. It's kind of like we were talking about in basketball. Throughout our Fence Man Friday picks on that side of things, you'll have ranked matchups every single weekend, and Arkansas, unless something crazy happens, is going to be involved in a handful of them from here on out.
Yeah. So we're hoping they hit the ball over the fence for the Razorbacks.
Would you say earlier, piss on it? Piss on the whole play.
Yeah, well, and speaking of fences, Sean, you were telling me the other day, security fencing's become one of your largest categories.
It really has, everybody's wanting to secure their yard, secure their business. We have so many options that we can do for you. We can make a pretty fence secure. We can put some automatic access on it, put some keypads up here. Even your walk gates can be automated. It's we're very blessed. Like I said, I've got some crews that know what they're doing. They've got the knowledge, they got the skill set, and we really enjoy that part because those are some of the neatest things when we get it done and it fully functions and operates as prescribed. It's nice, and it gives people I hate to use the word security, but it does make them feel safe and secure inside their home or business.
782-3936. Call Sean. He can build you a security fence. Sean, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the time.
All right, Fence Man Fridays.
Kicks and deals. He struck him out swinging. This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetix. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Home runs are good. Home run score runs quick.
This is the Morning Rush.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Road Chevrolet and the Van Buren Boys and Girls Club are teaming up to make this Saturday a day to remember. Starting at 10, be there for cornhole games. You can shoot hoops. Plus, come by and see former Van Buren and Razorback standout Matt Jones. Be there as Road Chevrolet launches sales tax paid on select 2024 and 25 models, plus the chance to win $500 off any vehicle purchased. With every vehicle sold, Rhodes is donating a portion of the proceeds to the Van Buren Boys and Girls Club. Road Chevrolet this Saturday, 10 a.m. for fun, games, hot dogs, and big savings. 2800 on the highway, Van Buren. Road Chevrolet. See dealer for details.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Taco Bell's new caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. But does that mean everything has a spicy side? Like your cactus plant. It's like your other plants, but spicy. Or your coworker who says they hate everyone who works here, but you work here. Or when you say, I don't mean to be rude, but you do mean to be rude. But now you can feed your spicy side with Caliente Cantina chicken from Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Gage is an extremely hard worker, and he's very serious, and he threw a pin a couple days ago. I was actually up in the weight room, and I watched through the window. He's indoor, and it looked really good. He's getting there. I think pain-free, and I saw the other day he's throwing the ball 90 miles an hour with ease, and if he makes it next bullpen, and he's still good, I think, you get over the hump, and that's what we're hoping.
So that was Dave Van Horn earlier this week on the Swatters at the Swatters Club talking about Arkansas pitcher, Batesville native Gage Wood. Here's what he said yesterday on it.
He's going on the trip. I don't know if he'll be on the 30-man. I would say I probably won't put him on the 30-man, but he's getting close. He's getting close. Bullpen's been good, and he's going to throw another one this weekend. That's one reason he's going with us. He'd go anyway, but he is going to throw a bullpen while we're there, and hey, maybe you'll be ready for the next weekend. We'll see.
So yeah, I got the number one team in the country, and Tommy, it sounds like you might get a pitcher that at least could maybe factor into the, and I say maybe, he's going to factor in the weekend rotation or bullpen somehow, some way come out when he does get healthy. So encouraging news from Dave Van Horn on Gates this week.
And he's going to have a fresh arm, an arm that's been through some rehab and obviously getting work back into shape, but it hadn't had the game wear and tear. It's had the bullpen wear and tear. So maybe that'll serve them, even though it's, I can't say set them back, with their record and where they're at. But I don't really want to say saved him, but for this later stretch.
But
maybe he'll have a little fresher arm come June than maybe some other ones on the staff or around the country.
Yeah. Continuing on your Hog update this morning, former Razorback coach and player TJ Cleveland has been announced publicly that he's going to join Bucky McMillan in Texas A&M. He's been with Mike Anderson, of course, here in Arkansas, also pit stops with Missouri, UAB, and St. John's as well. So congrats to TJ. I hate he's going to a Colt, but whatever. Brad Johnson, I saw this, I was reading, I think it was Ethan Westerman's article in Whole Hog Sports, more or less, it's report official that Brad Johnson is going to the U of A women's basketball team. Dr. Tyler in Fayetteville shared with us yesterday via his daughter, who goes to Farmington, that the former Farmington girls coach was going to end up there. A lot of track record. I know you just know him through the reffing ranks. I know Farmington's losing a good one, but the U of A is also gaining something out of this.
Yeah, I think 4 state titles is what he has accomplished at Farmington. So, no, excellent coach, and that Farmington is an excellent boys and girls, and particularly girls basketball program, has been for decades.
All right, last thing, your favorite. Arkansas Tommy is number 17 in the latest Learfield Director Cup standings. Your thoughts on your favorite rankings of
that they
of
are probably
time.
having a high fives and probably early happy hour at the Broyle Center, because that's about the only people that care about the Learfield Cup.
All right, that is your Hog update this morning. Always brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
From time to time, the Morning Rush is a classroom of sorts, and I learned something a little earlier this week. I know you don't really pay attention to news either, and I know you're marking things down, counter what some people believe, right?
Yeah, last time I trusted the news was when Huey Lewis was fronting up, dude. We're having a lot of fun with it, man.
I'm still stuck on who's Huey Lewis. I'm assuming that's a
please no, please.
All right, I found out. That was our conversation with our buddy David Rath of Rath Mitsubishi. We do welcome in Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources, who does know who Huey Lewis in the news is. And in about 30 minutes, I'll share an update from our friend Randy Stratton coming up with the possibility of Huey coming on this show. But Larry, you're learning on this show every day, or in my case, I'm learning.
Larry knows the power of love.
I do know the power of love. And I think those guys, they started the sports bar, did they not? I mean, weren't they like the genesis of that?
I know they had that. I guess
Genesis was another band.
Yeah.
Well, right. Yeah, I remember those two too.
They had that album or whatever. Apparently, the U of A was like the only college campus that didn't let them promote their new album back in the 80s, back in the day, which was kind of funny. But either way, not only is David teaching me about pop culture stuff, which I know he's very knowledgeable on that, but
yeah, he'll catch you up.
He'll definitely do that. When it comes to that. Larry, I know you're really excited. You've got a new sales manager, Chris, that has been really, really getting it going at Rath Auto Resources. I know you've been telling people about him. I'm really proud of what he's been doing for you guys there.
We are proud of the whole team here. It's a great bunch, and some new leadership there with Chris Hansen. He's doing a terrific job for us, making our customers happy, and we love that, Selling a lot of cars. And, it kind of brings us around to the promo this month is up to $3,750 extra for your trade-in right now, because we need those trades. I mean, we desperately need those trades. With prices going up, that's one way we can fight to keep those prices down for our customers, buy more cars off the street, kind of avoid all that hauling and fees and all of that. And it helps the customer that's selling the car. It helps customers buying the cars. Folks, if you're thinking of trading right now, it'd be a great time during the Rath Ride Replacement Program. Get up to $3,750 extra for that trade-in right now. Even if you're trying to trade somewhere else, come on in for a free second opinion. We'll give you a free market analysis on your car and a cash offer, and you could walk out here with money in your hand. So give us a chance to buy your car. We'd love that. Better yet, we'd love to trade for it right now. Rath Auto Resources Ride Replacement Sale going on this weekend. It's going to be a beautiful time to come on out. Get yourself a nicer, newer car today. Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center. We're at 4515 Towson Avenue here in Fort Smith. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
And when you stop by and see Larry or David, ask them about their favorite Huey Lewis and the News song. Larry, appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate you and David always educating me on anything under the sun, not just cars.
Absolutely. We appreciate you too, Ty. Have a great day, everybody, and come see us.
All right, when we return here on the Morning Rush Daily Question. Again, I got an update on Huey Lewis and the News from our friend Randy Stratton. We'll get into that as we continue on.
Root kicks and deals. He struck him out swinging.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetix. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
I told my wife, I'm sorry I'm putting you through this.
This is the Morning Rush.
It's time for the Wrath Ride Replacement Sale of Wrath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get $3,750 above appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory. Inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by a comprehensive warranty. It's the Wrath Ride Replacement Sale all this month at Wrath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, WrathAutoFortSmith.com.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please text H2H Mystery to 44834 or call us at 479-452-2260. Heart to Heart's Mystery at the Forest, April 26th.
Basketballs bounce, cheerleaders cheer, and fans are flocking to the paint store in Van Buren. The paint store in Van Buren is known for their color matching. The paint store in Van Buren is known for their help with color selection. The paint store in Van Buren shares their expert advice from 35 years of experience. If you haven't been to the paint store in Van Buren, you are missing out. How about you give them a shout next time you need some real-life help you can't get on YouTube?
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Hit the greens for a meaningful cause at Mercy Fort Smith's Birdies for Babies Golf Classic on May 12th at Hartscrabble Country Club. This 4-person scramble features morning and afternoon tee times, with all proceeds benefiting maternal child services and our Level 3A NICU, helping keep families close to home. Enjoy a great day of golf while helping provide essential care for moms and babies right here in the community. Sign up today at mercyhealthfoundation.net/birdies for babies or call 479-314-1133 for more information.
Road Chevrolet and the Van Buren Boys and Girls Club are teaming up to make this Saturday a day to remember. Starting at 10, be there for cornhole games. You can shoot hoops. Plus, come by and see former Van Buren and Razorback standout Matt Jones. Be there as Road Chevrolet launches sales tax paid on select 2024 and 25 models, plus the chance to win $500 off any vehicle purchased. With every vehicle sold, Rhodes is donating a portion of the proceeds to the Van Buren Boys and Girls Club. Road Chevrolet this Saturday, 10 a.m. for fun, games, hot dogs, and big savings. 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren. Road Chevrolet. See dealer for details.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Time for the Carpat Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
All right, as much as Ty would just love for me to ask a question about peeing in exotic places, I'm going to go.
I'm on the account right now.
What was the guy that, what was his name that peed at Augusta in the bushes on 13?
Jose, oh gosh, what's his name? Jose Ballester. I'm a third.
He amateur player that probably, I hope he enjoys today, probably won't be back again. All right, so who wins the Masters? Who puts on the green jacket come Sunday? Justin Rose in the lead, but going wire to wire seems impossible right now. I would take the field over Justin Rose at this point. But who do you like this weekend to win the Masters?
Well, I mean, I got to go with my guy that's currently, where's he, tied for 11th? Where'd he go? Or is he going down?
Your boy Minwoo?
Yeah. I mean, now he's tied for 14th. Minwoo Lee. He's got it. He's got what it takes. He is the big
bro.
He is the biggest bro on the tour. Like, he is the coolest guy. It's his 4th Master start. His start. He's had top 20.
He's not the coolest guy.
He's had
Freddie Couples is the coolest guy.
And Couples is -1. He's 65 years old.
He had an eagle yesterday on 14. That was beautiful.
He banged in
with
that
a 6 hybrid. How cool is that? He had a 6H.
Tiger can't give him any more heck about it.
He banged in that first birdie and just looked at the crowd. It's like, yeah, I can still do this at 65. But Minwoo Lee is he's making his 4th start, Tommy. He's had 2 top 25 finishes the last 2 or 3 years. So I like him. I like his chances.
Yeah.
The Australian.
Tommy, I got a neat stat for you right here. In 18 of the last 20 Masters, the eventual winner has been in the top 10 after round 1. So here was your top 10 after yesterday. It's Justin Rose at 1 solo possession, 7 under. Connors and Scheffler and Aberg all tied for 4 under. Hatton and DeChambeau at 3 under. Aaron Rai, English, Jason Day, and my new favorite golfer, because we're built the same, Ashke Bhatia. Also, your top 10 right there. So I'm going to pick out of those ones. I'm going to get Bryson because he looked good yesterday.
Boy, and he was pounding balls after the round. I'm going with Aberg. He's had the best 5-round start anyone's ever had at Augusta, going back to his 2nd place finish last year. Strong start yesterday. I like to pick the Americans when I can, but Ludwig Aberg is my pick for the weekend. I think he is the one that puts on the green jacket come Sunday afternoon.
Do you you mentioned you like cheering for Americans when you can, and I don't want to get Liv versus PGA because I think people are tired of that conversation, but where do you stand on Rory? Like, even like 2 or 3 years ago, do you like him? Is he annoying?
Yeah, I like Rory.
Okay.
He didn't play well.
People when you said
that chip that went in the water.
Yeah, you say that name Rory McIlroy. I think everyone has an opinion about him, some good, some bad. I, like you, would most of the time cheer for the Americans, but again, Min Woo Lee has my heart this weekend. I'm hoping he can pull it out. We'll see if it shakes out. Who do you think's going to win the Masters after day one? That is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush daily question. You can play Augusta National. Tommy and I mentioned earlier, we're not actually going to get a chance to play Augusta National. I guess that's technically true, but you can play it at Cart Pass Social right now. They have over 1,000 different courses that you can play. The best indoor golf facility in all of Arkansas. And I don't just say that because Christian and Nate are my buddies from college. Like, if you actually go play theirs and you go play others in the area or anywhere else, you'll notice the difference. These are not cheap simulators. They spent the big bucks. They got the investment, and this is an awesome facility. You don't have to wear golf attire. It can be relaxed. You can be chill. You want to dress to the nines, you can do that too. 122 Grant Place in Lowell, 479-487-3622, or you can chat them out online at cartpasssocial.com. It is BYOB at Cart Pass Social. Since we're talking about the Masters, might as well play a highlight from yesterday.
Birdie attempt. 7 under.
That was Justin Rose, again, as you said, the top of the leaderboard. I always get a sense that the guy that's first on day one doesn't end up winning it. But then you mentioned the top 10 stat, Colton, which is say it one more. You said 18 of the last 20 in the top 10?
18 of the last 20 Masters champions have finished within the top 10 on the first day. And for Justin Rose, I think this is like what he's been doing, has been having great first rounds at the Masters for a long time, but he's never won. So, Ty, I think that your inkling about him not winning is right.
All right, so it's Fastball Friday. I guess we could make it Fast Break, like breaks on the greens, Fast Fairway, Fast Green Friday as well. Yeah. It's brought to you by QC Kinetix, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. That's joint preservation for those aching joints. If you got out of bed this morning and, felt and sounded like Rice Krispies in that knee, that shoulder, that back, you've been to the doctor, they say steroids can fix you up for a while, pain medication and drugs or surgery. You can do it with the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis and joint pain. Call my friends at QC Kinetix. They made me feel better. They'll make you feel better. Free consultations, just a phone call away, 479-999-1234, 999-1234 for QC Kinetix. Well, we are down to the nitty-gritty at Oakland. Just 4 weekends left, and our friend Lang Whitman joins us now, our horse racing update, brought to you by our friends at Brothers Roofing and Restoration. If you've had recent storm damage, particularly in the Acorn area, south or north of Minas, south of Waldron, or if you're in the Clarksville area, we're going to talk to you more about Brothers Roofing in a minute. Lang, only 4 weekends left in the meet, and looks like we're going to have good weather after last week's heavy downpours that really caused some problems last week at Oakland.
Yeah, 4 weeks left, as you mentioned, Tommy. Also 4 weeks until the Kentucky Derby. Looking forward to the good weather this week. I'm still a little bit shocked that they got in 2 of the 3 racing days last week, dancing around the raindrops and the storms that were going all over the state.
Yeah, it was kind of like getting the baseball in last weekend. We were fortunate to see it all get done. All right, 2 graded stakes races this Saturday. The Grade 3 Count Fleet Sprint and the Grade 1 Apple Blossom that features Torpedo Anna. Did I get that right? Torpedo Anna. Tell us about these Grade 1 and Grade 3 races this weekend.
Yeah, race 8 Saturday is the Count Fleet Sprint Handicap, the Grade 3 race for $500,000. This looks to me to be a race between the favorite Booth, who's won 2 big races at Oakland leading up to this bigger race, and Booth runs on the front end. He gets out fast and goes as quick as he can. And the other side of the coin, you have Tejano Twist, who is a come-from-behind runner. Those look to be the top 2 in the race. Anachrist from trainer Doug O'Neill from the West Coast is the only other horse, I think, who has a chance to win this race. But it's going to be the front runner versus the closer, Booth versus Tejano Twist in this race, I believe. Then you go to the highlight of the day, and it's race 11, the Apple Blossom Grade 1, $1.25 million on the line. One of only 2 Grade 1 races at Oakland during the meet, the other being the Arkansas Derby. 7 horses entered here, but all eyes are on number 6, Torpedo Anna, the reigning horse of the year. Only lost once, I believe, in her career. I believe she should win this race. I hope she's at her best for the crowd, so she can join Hall of Fame champions that have won this race before. Horses like Bayakoa, Passiana, Heavenly Prize, Aziri, Zenyatta, recent winners Midnight Bijou and Latruska. Hopefully, Torpedo Anna wins this race and etches her name in the history books at Oaklawn.
All right, you always pick out a Friday race that has a little value, a little place we can make some money. We all need to get that download that Oaklawn Anywhere app and get ready to go if you're not going to be at the races. Who do you like today? Where's a little value on the morning line heading into this Friday on this one of 4 final weekends?
Yeah, we're going to go to race 3 today, Tommy, with the best bet. Horse number 7, La Fantastica, 7-2 on the morning line. Here's a horse. This is a maiden special weight race for 6 furlong fillies. So she's raced 8 times in her life. Does not have a win, but nobody else in the race has a win either. She has finished twice. She's finished second in 3 starts at this Oaklawn meet. So she's knocking on the door of getting her first win. This will be only her second start of the meet on a fast track. She caught a couple of wet tracks. Maybe didn't like those quite as much. This leading trainer, Steve Asmussen, trains the horse. His son, Eric, will ride. 4 of the top 6 pace lines in the race from all the horses belong to La Fantastica. If she can repeat one of those pace line races today, I believe she's going to find herself in the winner's circle for the first time. If you want to play an exact in this race, check out horse number 2, Songmaker. Horse number 3, Don't Look Back, as top competition. But we're going as the best bet, number 7, race 3, La Fantastica, 7-2 on the morning line today at Oaklawn.
All right, at the Railbird 333 on all the social media platforms. You can find Lang's picks there and enjoy those and make a little money for the weekend as well. Lang, we appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Tommy. Always thanks for having me on.
All right, Lang Whitman with us every Friday from Oaklawn. And again, download that Oaklawn Anywhere app in the Apple app or Google Play Store. Promo code is RUSH25. That'll get you a $150 sign-up bonus. You can get ready for everything this weekend. Lang just told us about, including the Apple Blossom, the Grade 1 of just 2 at Oaklawn this weekend. Our horse racing update always brought to you by Brothers Roofing and Restoration. You know what, Brothers, they take care of you, and it's done by a native Arkansas, number 1, someone you know, and Brother Alexander, who can come to your home, personally inspect your roof, and make sure that you maximize your insurance benefits. Now, we've had some hailstorms, we've had some windstorms, and now is the time to make sure that if you live particularly like in the Clarksville area, they had a damaging hailstorm on March the 14th. Boonville, you got one on April the 5th. You're seeing other roofing companies, you're seeing insurance adjusters in your neighborhood, and you have not had your roof inspected, or you look up at the sheetrock and there's a water stain on it now. It's time to call Brother and let them inspect your roof. 479-353-3877. Another thing that sets Brother apart, he spent over 25 years as an insurance adjuster looking at roofs for the insurance company, so he knows exactly how to maximize your insurance benefits. Pay a lot for it, might as well use it. 479-353-3877, 353-3877 for Brothers Roofing and Restoration.
Yeah, my buddy got bit by a black widow, dude.
Yeah.
She was in her 40s.
Anyone go see Theo Vaughn and Bud Walton Arena last night? I saw Coach Pittman, and they posted a picture with him yesterday. Coach looks good, man. That hip's back, and after the replacement and everything. I wish I could have seen him last night, Tommy. That's one of my favorite comedians out there. Just wasn't able to.
Hey, get by Andy's Frozen Custards, Conway, Fort Smith, and North Little Rock. Get something cool and sweet to savor on this weekend. Maybe you're watching the Masters. You can take the Pick 6 home where you can mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors for the perfect golf and game time treat. That's Andy's Frozen Custards. Download their app now as well. Use it at the Fort Smith, Conway, or North Little Rock locations for Andy's Frozen Custards.
Hour 2 coming up. Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball at 10:30.
Camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for problem gambling helpline.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new Ultra Matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new Matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
It's time for the Rath Rod Replacement Sale at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get up to $3,750 above appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory. Inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by a comprehensive warranty. It's the Rath Rod Replacement Sale all this month at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Hey, Ty Richardson back at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria in downtown Fort Smith here with Brooklyn, one of the new gals. Y'all have got a great special on Monday, Brooklyn.
Yes, we have our $3 domestic drafts, our Bud Lights, Miller Lights, Coors Light, Yingling, Shiner Bock, Michelob Ultra, some super cold mugs, and 10 wings for $8.95.
Come on by and see us at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best dark pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
We all make plans for the future, like car accidents, break-in, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barley.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Hit the greens for a meaningful cause at Mercy Fort Smith's Birdies for Babies Golf Classic on May 12th at Hartscrabble Country Club. This 4-person scramble features morning and afternoon tee times, with all proceeds benefiting maternal child services and our Level 3A NICU, helping keep families close to home. Enjoy a great day of golf while helping provide essential care for moms and babies right here in the community. Sign up today at mercyhealthfoundation.net/birdies4babies or call 479-314-1133 for more information.
Road Chevrolet and the Van Buren Boys and Girls Club are teaming up to make this Saturday a day to remember. Starting at 10, be there for cornhole games. You can shoot hoops. Plus, come by and see former Van Buren and Razorback standout Matt Jones. Be there as Road Chevrolet launches sales tax paid on select 2024 and 25 models, plus the chance to win $500 off any vehicle purchased. With every vehicle sold, Rhodes is donating a portion of the proceeds to the Van Buren Boys and Girls Club. Road Chevrolet this Saturday, 10 a.m. for fun, games, hot dogs, and big savings. 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren. Road Chevrolet. See dealer for details.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures today will be in the mid to upper 60s. Mainly clear sky tonight. The overnight low will drop down into the low 40s. Saturday, sunny skies, low 70s, and then we're much closer to 80 on Sunday. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
Welcome to the final round of this tradition unlike any other. Who doesn't love Friday? The best day of the week. What lies ahead in all the possibility.
Birdie attempt.
They did see you, right?
Yes, they saw me. That's a birdie.
Moves into a three-way tie for second place. Oh my goodness, the bonus. Leaderboard gravity, though, will soon make things more clear. Dashing hopes for some, raising them for others, changing a life for one. It's Friday at the Masters.
This is The Morning Rush.
It's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush, day 2 of the Masters in Augusta. Tommy, did you see Ken Griffey Jr.?
He's back with a 3-1. Griffey swings. There it goes. Long fly ball, right field. It is number 600 for Ken Griffey Jr.
He's not hitting bombs. He's a credentialed photographer out there at the Masters. I thought that was pretty cool. I know Randy Johnson now after his playing career is doing some photography stuff, but apparently it's a baseball thing because Griffey Jr.'s out there as well.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a passion of his. He'd take more pictures than was taken of him in his career. That's an interesting thought. How many pictures were taken of Ken Griffey Jr.?
I do have some
millions.
I
right?
do have some. Yeah, he
probably will never take as many that was taken of him.
The amount of autographs, the amount of pictures that were taken with him. Yeah. You're right on that, Tommy. I got some bad news though, according to Ken Griffey for our friend Wade York. Par 3 hole-in-ones don't count. They have an asterisk behind them. Do I get my home runs that count from the home run derby? So apparently, according to Ken Griffey Jr., Wade's hole-in-one this week did not count. So I don't know if you want to tell him.
So a hole-in-one on par 3 doesn't count,
according to the Hall of Famer.
There's a guy that knows nothing about golf. With all due respect, Ken Griffey Jr., you know nothing about golf.
I break good news to Wade, so you can break the bad news.
He must be talking about the par 3 contest there at Augusta, but no, they absolutely count. Hey, spring camping season's here. This weekend is the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party. It's going to be in Rogers on West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, just behind Nukes. You don't want to miss that. Brought to you by the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix. They are setting up right now. They're going to be open for the RV Show and Outdoor Party all weekend. Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina Vibe, Winnebago, just all the top brands are there. On-site financing, vendors like food trucks and more, bounce houses for the kids. So this is one thing you don't want to miss, the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party. Brought to you by Wheels RV this weekend, West Pauline Whitaker Parkway. in Rogers. It's a fast break Friday. Our friends at QC Kinetix can get those joints relieved from all the pain that's keeping you from doing the things you love. 479-999-1234 is their number. 999-1234. They're right here in Northwest Arkansas. Ty, it's QC Kinetix.
Josiah in Missouri texting in saying, sick intro, Ty. I didn't make the intro. Colt made the intro, and it's literally titled Friday, Augusta Would Hate This, because he kind of combined the initial theme of the Masters with the way. You're going to have to help me on that. Is that?
It's still DRE by Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
Okay, I was going to say Dr. Dre, but I wasn't 100% on that. So good job once again. All right, so we had a chance yesterday to catch up with Landon Beidelshees on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, and this is a kid that came from, he's an Ohio kid, went to Ohio State, was the alpha there, and is now still one of the alphas of this pitching staff. But interesting here, Arkansas, they've had a lot of good pitching over the years, but this team from a hitting standpoint is as prolific as any Dave Van Horn ball club thus far. Listen to him talk about just kind of the relief of sorts when they have a big league on the mound.
It takes a lot of pressure off of you when it comes to strictly like winning the game. Like, okay, like last week, for example, against Missouri, like we scored a lot of runs pretty early, and I was like, all right, we're probably going to win this game if I can just keep going. And there's a flip side of it too, where, you know, I'm the type of pitcher where I'm my best when there's a lot of pressure. And when I know our offense is going to put up 10, 12 runs early on in the game, it kind of takes that good pressure off you as a pitcher.
So good stuff yesterday. It's in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast, also on hitthatline.com or Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. But Tommy, this is a situation where you kind of want to have those luxury runs from your offense, because Georgia, want to reiterate, number one team in college baseball in home runs with over 90 this year. So they have the potential to get hot at any time, and especially in their home ballpark where they've been lethal, not just against the SEC opponents, but others.
But they're not invincible. They got swept last weekend. Arkansas is not too shabby themselves at the plate, and Arkansas's hit their share of home runs so far this season. I haven't looked at I was looking at the home run numbers earlier this week when we were getting our Pradco Pyramid of Power put together. What would be interesting is to see and we're now getting enough SEC games to where stats and trends mean something, and those are the numbers to really follow. Because if you hit a bunch of home runs in some midweek games against varying levels of competition, that doesn't carry nearly as much weight as what's happened in conference play. So I don't know that number. Colton, maybe you can look it up, but it'd be interesting to see who's hit more home runs in SEC play 12 games in. Because I think 12 games in, a little over a third of the way home in SEC play, there's some trends there that you can maybe call a little more concrete.
Yeah. And speaking of trends, Arkansas is trending in the right direction. But we talked about, it's kind of the opposite of basketball. Your basketball schedule was front loaded, i.e. you had to play the national champion early on in the season. Baseball is kind of backloaded. And I don't want to discredit Vanderbilt or Ole Miss. Ole Miss, by the way, number 6 in the country, I should say. But down the stretch, you got Texas, number 2, LSU, number 3, Tennessee, number 5, and then Georgia this weekend, who's number 7. Dave Van Horn talked about it yesterday.
You know, I can't make one series bigger than it is or bigger than the next one because, you know, we got A&M coming down the pike, Texas, Tennessee, A&M, and Florida. So they're all the same. They're all really good. Whether their record is, 2-10 or 10-2, it really doesn't matter. You have to play well.
And here's the deal about A&M and Florida, Tommy. Both were ranked preseason top 25. A&M was preseason number 1. I think they got an 8. I want to say they won last night 8-7 against South Carolina. They won their series last week, and I believe against Tennessee. So while their SEC record is nowhere near people thought it would be, I mean, you can't really overlook either of those teams either. And you got to go to Gainesville for that one as well.
By the way, I just looked here. Who do you think leads the conference in SEC games only in home runs?
I'm going to guess you're going to tell me Arkansas.
The Arkansas Razorbacks are number 1 with 33 home runs, according to SECsports.com. You know who number 2 is?
Georgia.
The Georgia Bulldogs with 32. And then it's really not close from there. I mean, there's a couple of smattering of teams in the mid to low 20s. Arkansas and Georgia are by far the best home run hitting teams of the season.
There's a lot to be encouraged by with Arkansas in SEC play. It's kind of like you were just talking about. It'd be one thing if they were doing against midweek teams or what else, but they beat opponents like Vanderbilt and South Carolina and Ole Miss, and then they dominate Missouri last weekend. So we'll see how they fare. First game today at 5 o'clock Central Time. We'll have it on most of these ESPN Arkansas radio stations with Phil and Bubba starting at 4. Or I say Phil and Bubba with Phil starting at 4:30, and then game got moved tomorrow. It got moved to 3 o'clock tomorrow, Tommy, and then we got a game at noon on Sunday. That's kind of your setup for the weekend.
Yeah. Arkansas's batting .361 in conference games. Georgia at .285. So do with that what you want. So, and Arkansas's fielding percentage, it should be noted as well, .985. That I believe is tied for conference best at this point. So, no, pardon me. Georgia is .993. A couple teams at .985. So, two really good defensive teams as well. But Arkansas at the plate, as far as batting average, has been the better of the two so far.
Okay, real quick. I know you got a tea time coming up, and you got to get out of here. I'm kidding. I mentioned there would be Huey Lewis in the news. This is wild how this is taking place, and I want to give credit to a listener, Randy Stratton, on Facebook. So Huey Lewis, Tommy, is apparently going through major surgery to restore the loss of hearing. Randy recently spoke with him. He's going to get back with us after the rehab is completed about coming on the show. And let's see what else. He didn't know surgery was imminent, but it's happening. He is rooting for Dave Van Horn and the squad to win this year. A little backstory on this. So Randy reached out to us over the course of the last couple days. When Huey Lewis and the News came to Fayetteville, Arkansas to play at the rink back in 1983, Dave Van Horn was the first bartender that Randy hired for the rink back in the day. And by the way, I just assumed the rink was now Scarlight Stadium. I was corrected by multiple people who lived in Fayetteville or knew about this. It was across from Club West on MLK Boulevard. They built it in 1965, and they owned it for 35 years. So an update, Tommy, it sounds like we might get Huey Lewis on the show here in the coming weeks or months, which would be a great topic. And if they won and like get a connection
you interviewing someone you have no clue who they are will be just outstanding radio.
It would just be one of those things. It would just be like a cool full circle moment. It's like, hey, I didn't know who it was, but now I like your music. But I'm not going to tell them I didn't know who it was. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'll just let you kind of lead the interview, and if anyone else wants to chime in, they can. It's kind of like
I don't know what questions I'd necessarily ask that probably the story could be told on the radio, but I would love to know what the Back to the Future movie and that series did for his fame and his fortune.
Well, hopefully you get to ask him.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, a quick word for APAC and Standard Materials Group, your number one source for top quality aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete. Whether you're working on a small residential project or a large-scale commercial job, APAC has you covered, and they don't have any jobs that are too small or too big for the scope of their ability to put their expertise to work for you. And they have construction consultant services. What does that mean? That means they have experts to keep your job on track and to make sure it stays on time and on budget. 479-587-3300 for all your rock, asphalt, and ready-mix needs. APAC and Standard Materials Group, 479-587-3300.
Big SEC topics to get to coming up in our SEC update. I want to talk about this Nico Ilamaviava story. Jesse in Springdale asking about Malik Ewan, who has a couple of SEC teams in his top 5. The Florida State kid that you're trying to get here at Fayetteville, plus Lamar Wilkerson, Ashdown native. We will get to all that coming up here on a Fastball Friday, brought to you by QC Kinetix, coming up next.
Through kicks and deals, he struck him out swinging.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush, presented by QC Kinetix. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LOT to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
How about those?
This is the Morning Rush.
Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes are cool because they give you options. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and the adventurous $9 box. So, yeah, choices are great. But don't sleep on how there's only 3. Perfect number. Imagine if there were, 49 choices. That's too many. Or if there were just one, get out of here. So 3 it is. You just gotta pick one. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. While supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Hit the greens for a meaningful cause at Mercy Fort Smith's Birdies for Babies Golf Classic on May 12th at Hardscrabble Country Club. This 4-person scramble features morning and afternoon tee times, with all proceeds benefiting maternal child services and our Level 3A NICU, helping keep families close to home. Enjoy a great day of golf while helping provide essential care for moms and babies right here in the community. Sign up today at mercyhealthfoundation.net/birdies for babies or call 479-314-1133 for more information.
Attention football fans. This year marks the 25th year of the Brandon Burlsworth football camps, and the 2025 camps are going to be extra special. And you have 3 camp dates to choose from. May 29th in Farmington, May 30th in Harrison, or May 31st in Little Rock. The camps are open to boys and girls ages 7 to 15. Enrollment is limited, so register early at BrandonBurlsworth.org. We're celebrating 25 years in 2025. The Brandon Burlsworth football camps will be here soon.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight.
About the tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hogs have finally climbed the hill. It's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Nico's in the gun. They bring the tight end in motion across the formation. 3rd down. Nico's going to throw. Looking right. Cameron Ball. Cameron Ball sacks him. Inside the 15-yard line, they lose 7, and Tennessee's going to have to punt.
So that's one of my favorite memories from Nico Ilomaviava from this past season. Apparently, according to Pete Nakos of On3, there are negotiations right now with Nico, whether it's his agent, him, whoever else, in Tennessee, thinking about, I think, $8 million from NIL-wise at Knoxville. Negotiations, it's unclear, according to Pete, that this will impact him entering the transfer portal. So very much sounds like some of the stuff you hear in the National Football League between, hey, I might be seeking a trade or whatever else. And college football and college sports has essentially become professionals in certain aspects and everything else. Here's the deal about Nico. This is a 5-star kid, Cali kid. Younger brothers here on the University of Arkansas, now Madden. Coach Petrino had some positive things to say about him earlier this week. But, like, Nico he's not Hendon Hooker. He's not Peyton Manning. He's not T. Martin. Like, he's a big name, but you think about that game in Fayetteville. You think about that game against Ohio State when he's 14 of 31 last year for 100 and something yards. And Colton, to me, he's not worth the money.
Say it, Ty. He's not that guy.
No,
he is not that guy. And I think that while he is a good quarterback, he's good for Tennessee's system, and they could probably figure out ways to get some money working for him. $8 million. I mean, you put it right there. 14 of 31 for 104 yards in Tennessee's 42-17 loss at Ohio State. That's not worth $8 million anywhere. And I think that this is where you need someone. I don't know what Tennessee's NIL situation is, if they have a general manager or not. But this is why I'm thankful that Arkansas has taken the steps to get someone like a Remy Cofield in here to maybe get in somebody's ear and say, hey, $8 million for that guy is insane. We're not going to do it. And so I think that maybe Tennessee needs somebody like that. And maybe Nico needs somebody in his ear to say, hey, you are a great player. You have lots of potential. You can do amazing things, but you ain't worth no $8 million, brother. Let's tone it down.
And I have no idea what the rest of Josh Heupel's depth chart looks like at the quarterback position. If Nico's the starter, he's the starter for obvious reasons. I don't know what that drop-off would be, but that is an interesting storyline that came out yesterday. We got a text from Jesse in Springdale earlier on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline asking about Malik Ewan, who has, according to On3, zeroed in on 5 finalists. A couple SEC schools included Arkansas, Auburn, the Razorbacks, Mississippi State, Kansas, and Virginia are the team that have been in it. This is a kid you've watched. If you've watched him on social media or someone shared a clip to you, this is a kid you want. 6'11", is averaging like 14, I think 8 this past season. Would definitely be a front court player that you need. That's your biggest need right now for this Arkansas basketball team. But apparently it's not a done deal, Jesse, and for everyone else listening, you hope it is eventually. But this kind of goes back to the same thing that Nico and his team are doing. It's like it's negotiating right now. How much money could we get? How much money could we squeeze? And just to be clear, I don't blame kids for doing this at all. Based on some of you might be mad, and I get that. But you know what's funny? I'm reading this story on 3 Sports that the House I was introducing a new bill that would change the NCAA, this ACSA. I'm trying to, what's the acronym stand for? Whatever. Here's the big deal. The proposed bill promises some changes, including capping coaches' salaries. So when coaches are on the front lines for that and changes within college sports about capping their own money, their own payments, then I'll get on the side of everyone that should be the same as the players. But you won't see any coaches in favor of this.
No,
not a one.
No, of course not. I mean, what other jobs can you legitimately be terrible at and still make $100 million to get fired? There's very, very few. And I know lots of coaches that are just sitting back somewhere on a lake house in Florida counting their money for going 4-8 2 years in a row at a big school. And so you're absolutely right, Ty. It's not just going to be as simple as that. I'm on your side with it. But Malik Ewing, that is somebody that we would really want here at Arkansas, because that front court is what you're missing right now. And I've mentioned this several times. This is a totally different beast dealing with the transfer portal under Coach Cal than it is with Musselman. It seemed like, in the past we would know who we were going at. We would know when they were on campus. We'd know everything. And Coach Cal, he's kind of telling the fans, not really. He's actually told a message to the fans yesterday what we were going to need and how there was retention. But in a sense, this lack of knowledge about what we know about the team's makeup for next year, he's kind of telling us that he's going to give us the silence, and we have to kind of like it until, like you said, Ty, these negotiations and these contracts, essentially what they are smoothed out, ironed out, and then you'll figure out where teams are going to go. I think that Arkansas is really trying to figure out who's staying first, like Coach Cal mentioned, and now they've got that pretty much locked down. Now they're going to start hunting the big fish.
Couple of texts here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. This one comes from B in Clarksville. He likens Nico to DJU. I think that's a good comparison. Andy in Mountain Home texting in, no quarterback in college football is worth $8 million. Andy, I agree with you.
I agree with that too. Yeah.
All right, last couple of things in your SEC update. Aaron Fitt coming up in about 5 or so minutes. Lamar Wilkerson, the Ashdown kid. Apparently Auburn, Kentucky, and Ole Miss are places he's going to visit. Arkansas, at least not getting to visit so far, according to On3. Baseball last night, Florida defeats Missouri 13-6, and then A&M defeats South Carolina 8-7. All right, that is your SEC update this morning. It's brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. Call Clint, Jacob, and their team at Gaston's White River Resort. Perfect place to get away. Colton sporting a Gaston's cap right now. I know that my parents enjoy it. Anyone that's actually been there, I had a couple friends, couple commercial realtors that were out there this last week, and they had a jolly old time. Fully equipped kitchen in most of the cabins, or you can eat the restaurant, which is fantastic. One more time, their number, 870-431-5202. You can go online to gastons.com. They also post a bunch of social stuff on their Facebook as well. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Through kicks and deals, he struck him out swinging.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetix. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
I don't know why I keep coming in here every morning when I can be fishing. This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, Tuesdays is a great day to stop by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I know everyone thinks tacos on Tuesday, Brooklyn, but you guys have taco pizzas on special as well, plus some special drink prices on Mexican beers.
Yes, we have our $1 off Mexican imports, $2 off margaritas, $1 off when wearing a Papa's t-shirt.
How many Papa's Pub t-shirts do you have?
Quite a bit right now in stock.
Come on by and see us at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Here's some exciting news for golf enthusiasts. The Golf Nut is thrilled to announce new arrivals for 2025, including Callaway Elite Woods and Iron, the new generation Pro V1 and Pro V1X golf balls, as well as a full range of lab putters, including the latest OZ model. Schedule a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators to elevate your game. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue and experience golfing greatness for over 30 years.
Road Chevrolet and the Van Buren Boys and Girls Club are teaming up to make this Saturday a day to remember. Starting at 10, be there for cornhole games. You can shoot hoops. Plus, come by and see former Van Buren and Razorback standout Matt Jones. Be there as Road Chevrolet launches sales tax paid on select 2024 and 25 models, plus the chance to win $500 off any vehicle purchased. With every vehicle sold, Rhodes is donating a portion of the proceeds to the Van Buren Boys and Girls Club. Road Chevrolet this Saturday, 10 a.m. for fun, games, hot dogs, and big savings. 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren. Road Chevrolet. See dealer for details.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Attention business owners, are you overpaying for your website, dropping thousands up front and shelling out more than $95 a month? Stop the madness! With Modular Orange, you get a custom-built, fully managed website for just $95 a month. No hidden fees, no headaches. They write it, build it, launch it, update it, and secure it so you can focus on your business. Ditch the overpriced hassle and go simple. Visit modularorange.com today. That's modularorange.com.
Call the Hogs in 2025. You can renew your football season tickets today and be there for marquee matchups inside Razorback Stadium.
And Pittman heads toward midfield, and Arkansas wins the football game.
This year, the Hogs face off against Texas A&M, Auburn, and for the very first time, a matchup with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You can renew your tickets through the March 31st deadline. For more information about Razorback football tickets, just visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
I'm ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Taco Bell's new caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. But does that mean everything has a spicy side? Like your cactus plant. It's like your other plants, but spicy. Or your coworker who says they hate everyone who works here, but you work here. Or when you say, I don't mean to be rude, but you do mean to be rude. But now you can feed your spicy side with Caliente Cantina chicken from Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I've got Arkansas and Virginia in the finals of my bracket. Who knows? I think that's a nice, physical, powerful group there that you can kind of anchor this thing around. And then I suspect you'll see as the season progresses, this will be a pretty good offensive club.
Swing and a high fly ball hit well to deep right center. Watterson was playing shallow. He's all the way to the fence. Out of here. And Behiba Aloy has given them some breathing room. There's another drive. Thomas hits one over the fence after Helfrich hit one over the fence. Back to back in the fifth. It may have the distance. Davalon's giving them the lead with a 3-run homer.
All right, for my money, the best website when it comes to college baseball is D1 Baseball. Aaron Fitz, the editor-in-chief, we're going to talk to him coming up in just a bit here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. It is a Fastball Friday. It's brought to you by QC Kinetix. Maybe you got that joint pain, whatever you like to do. You like to hike, you like to golf. Maybe you're still playing in a softball league. Whatever the case may be, QC Kinetix can help you out with that. 479-999-1234. That's 479-999-1234. They've already treated tens of thousands of patients across the country with regenerative treatments that help get rid and calm down that joint pain. Knees, hips, shoulders, back. you name it, they can help you out. One more time for QC Kinetix, it is 479-999-1234. That's 479-999-1234 for QC Kinetix. Now's the best time to get started. All right, Aaron. Appreciate you joining us this morning. First and foremost, I know you heard there from a clip from the Razorback Daily this week talking about your national champion prediction with Virginia and Arkansas. I guess my question is, if it's not the Razorback, is the SEC tradition going to continue? Is it going to be a 6th straight potentially if you don't see the Cavs or Hogs taking it this year?
Yeah, I think at this point you'd be kind of a fool not to bet on some SEC team doing it. I am a fool, and in the preseason, I bet on Virginia to win it all. But I'll tell you what, Arkansas right now looks like the favorite. They really do. They're playing at an elite level. Obviously, they're loaded. On the mound, we knew that heading into the season. But the offense. I appreciate you playing that clip at the start of the show there, giving me some credit for being right for once about something. The offense has turned out to be pretty good. It's better even than I expected it to be, but they're very physical, they're very athletic, and right now I think Arkansas is probably the team to beat, but LSU, Tennessee, Georgia, there's a whole bunch of those SEC teams that are right there in that conversation.
Aaron, don't sandbag yourself, man. I've listened to plenty of your takes last few years. You've been right on a lot of things when it comes to college baseball, but you mentioned some SEC teams there. So listen to this. Arkansas takes on a top 10 team in Georgia. Then Texas is number 2 down the line. Tennessee is also top 5, and then LSU as well within that top 10. So, what do you think about the Razorbacks schedule down the stretch where you got 4 top 10 teams remaining here? I guess 2 on the road, 2 at home, Aaron.
Yeah, it's brutal, and that's really the disadvantage Arkansas faces in the the race for the regular season title is they have the toughest road. Out of those top, I think 5 contenders, they're the only one that has to play each of the other 4. And like you said, two on the road, starting obviously in Athens this weekend is a big weekend, but they still have to go to LSU. That's always huge. Tennessee right now looks maybe slightly more vulnerable than they did the first 7 weeks because they had a bad day and got swept in a doubleheader at home last week by A&M. But we know how good they are. It's really going to be if they win the SEC regular season title, they will have really earned it. Now that said, they don't really have to win the SEC regular season title to win it all. It's nice, but they're going to be a top 8 seed, and that's all that matters. As long as you're that top 8 and you're home for regionals and supers, the rest of it is just kind of gravy if you can add a little bit extra there.
We're talking with Aaron Fitt. He's the editor-in-chief of D1 Baseball here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Aaron, you mentioned the offense.
Home runs are good. Home runs score runs quick.
That was Dave Van Horn earlier this week. Is that what separates? Because Dave Van Horn's had a lot of great pitching teams, like in defense and fielding. Like that's been his calling card over the years here at Arkansas. But kind of the thought process here is, well, this team's different because of the offense. Is that just like a fan take, or is that an actual realistic take when looking at this baseball team from your vantage point?
I think people forget so quickly that Arkansas was like a top 10 offense in the country 2 or 3 years ago. Last year, okay, they had a down year offensively. The year before that, it was a solid kind of top half of the SEC offense. If you look at the OPS and the scoring, and the year before that, it was like, I don't know, 7th in the country, 6th in the country in scoring OPS. It's not been that long since Arkansas has been really offensive. Really, this program had one kind of dip offensively, I would say, last year. And other than that, they're usually pretty good. They usually hit. So it's tricky in this era with all the portal stuff and a lot of turnover from year to year. It's hard to kind of predict how good a team's going to be offensively from one year to the next. And you never know, is Brent Iredale going to come in and be a superstar? Is Charles Davalon going to be this menace? Who saw that coming? We liked him. He's a good player, but holy cow, he's turned out to be a great player. With the plate discipline and the power and everything else that he does. Kuyo obviously, another one. They've just really hit this year on their portal guys, and in this day and age, you got to do that. Georgia's done that too. That's why you see them up there in the top 10. And it's Texas and Tennessee. They're doing a good job with their portal stuff. And so, again, it makes it hard have that continuity and storyline from one year to the next. I mean, we do see guys get better, and Hiva Aloy is a great example of that from last year to this year. He's really taken a big step forward with his approach, and his defense is his entire game. And for me, he's become a legitimate first round guy as prospect and one of the best players in the country. But really, it's kind of a blend of trying to get those returning guys to develop, but also just plugging in these new guys and hoping they hit.
Man, Aaron, you would have loved this clip. So we had Landon Bileshees on yesterday, and he was talking about like signing autographs and taking pictures. And he said when Vahiva's around, all the kids and all the parents just immediately flocked him, and then they just stop what they're doing. So that's pretty funny. Is he realistically a finalist for the Golden Spikes? Like, could you see him end up being that based on the way he started and really, and as we get to the center point of SEC play?
He's got a real shot to be. Of course, shortstop is probably more loaded than it's been in 2 decades I've been doing this. I mean, we talked about this with Chris Burke and Rudy in our text thread the other day. It's like, was there ever been a better class of shortstops? I mean, 2015 comes to mind because you had Bregman and Swanson, but it wasn't the depth that you have this year. We were trying to come up with our midseason All-America teams, and who the heck gets the shortstop nod? Is it Aloy? Is it Alex Lodi's at Florida State with crazy numbers? We all know how good Justin LeBron is at Alabama, Merrick Houston at Wake Forest. There's a whole bunch of them. There's like 10 guys that all have a case for that. And so, he could be a Golden Spikes finalist. That means he's one of the 3 best players in the country. And right now, I mean, he might be that, but is he even one of the 3 best shortstops in the country? I don't know yet. We're still trying to figure that out. It's hard to separate those guys. It's really an insane year for that position.
Aaron Fitz, our guest, editor-in-chief D1 Baseball here on the Morning Rush. Aaron, you brought up the offense early, and I think you made some good points. Like, I think we just we focused so much on last season. You actually looked at the numbers over the course of Dave Van Horn's career. If you don't make so much out of last season, your point's well made. I think what's interesting about this ball club is my co-host, who's had to step away for a business meeting. He's made the points like you don't have that alpha pitcher necessarily on this team. Like I was just talking about Landon Bileshees, who was a big part of this pitching staff, but you don't have a Blaine Knight. You don't have a Zayde. You don't have a Hagen Smith or Kevin Kopps. You can go up and down the list. It's just a collection of pretty good guys. Might get Gage Wood back soon. What have you thought about Arkansas's pitching that you were still so high on before the season, and how it's been through about the halfway point?
Yeah, when I saw those guys at Globe Life back in week 2, I walked away thinking, especially with Gage Wood healthy, I walked away thinking, if these guys, if he is healthy, that's the best rotation of the country on talent. And, they've been good. But, I thought, you talk about having a real alpha. I thought Gapple was that guy. And it's been up and down, as you know. I mean, there's 2 weeks ago, I think he was pretty good. Last week, okay. But, he's got top of the draft stuff. It's 4 real pitches. And Zach Root has 4 real pitches. And Root has been more consistent. And, I think he's kind of emerged as a legitimate SEC ace for sure. I mean, in my mind, I think talent-wise, he's up there with anybody in the league. And he throws strikes, and he's left-handed, and there's a little bit of deception. I mean, it's not quite the Hagen Smith, ridiculous eye-popping numbers with a low ERA, but it's very good. I think he's a legit dude at the top, and so everything kind of falls into place behind him. And like you said, if Gage Wood's healthy again, that's it's just it's an enormous arm. I mean, the guy throws 100, with life and there's secondary stuff. And so there's so much depth too in the bullpen. They can mix and match. They have experience. It's just power stuff everywhere you look. Every guy they run out there is like, holy cow, it's real stuff. And so I just think that depth really matters. And especially as the season goes along and guys inevitably, get hot or cold or get hurt. You've got enough pieces there to cover it, as they did when they lost Wood, and you just, you slide Landon in there, and it's didn't really miss a beat. And so that's a real advantage for them.
Last thing before we let you go, I want to play this cut from Dave Van Horn talking about Wes Johnson earlier this week.
Doesn't surprise me a bit. He's a great coach, and he hired some really good coaches. They're in a really, really good baseball area. You're talking 80 miles from Atlanta, just a great part of the country for high school baseball, and doesn't surprise me a bit.
You think about Tony Vitello at Tennessee, Wes Johnson here at Georgia, the matchup this weekend. I mean, the pedigree, the coaching tree, I should say, for Dave Van Horn really starting to grow. Final thoughts on this matchup, Aaron, before we let you go between Georgia and Arkansas.
Yeah, it's really amazing just how quickly Wes Johnson has gotten that program into hyperdrive. Kind of even faster than Tony Vitale did it at Tennessee. It's amazing what Tony did, but I mean, in year one, Wes, they had him. He had him hosting a regional, a super, and in a super, and and they're even better this year. It looks like. I mean, this is a team that has kind of struggled a little bit to find their pitching. Again, kind of like Arkansas. I thought they had more talent maybe than the results would show you on the mound. Because if you watch them, it's a lot like Arkansas. So, wow, they got a lot of stuff, and I think it was just a matter of finding the right roles and getting guys to settle in a little bit. I like Brian Curley, as a starter because I've seen him hold that, high 90s fastball even out of the bullpen last year for VCU. He'd come out and throw 5-6 innings and just dominate, and he's a bad man. I like that guy, and then Leighton Finley, getting him kind of going again has certainly helped. It's still, you look up to 6.5 ERA, but he's good. And, Colton Smith is back, I think, in the rotation this week. He was supposed to be their Friday guy heading into the year. So that's a key thing to watch is how he does sliding back in the rotation. But their offense obviously is really scary too. It's a very complete team, a lot like Arkansas.
Yeah, most home runs in college baseball this year. Wes Johnson has got himself quite a ball club like you're talking about. Aaron, we'll leave it there. Aaron Fitt, Editor-in-Chief, D1 Baseball, best website for your money when it comes to college baseball coverage. Aaron, we appreciate you joining us this morning.
All right, thanks, guys. Good talking to you.
Hope to see you in Omaha, Nebraska. All right, as we continue on the Morning Rush, Colton Little going to give us a Masters update coming up in just one bit. We are brought to you by Pradco Fishing. I know Tommy would love to be fishing right now. I was giving him a hard time earlier about his tee time. He's actually doing some work, a lot more work than I actually do when I do on road trips. But when it comes to fishing, don't overlook LureNet.com. Best place to get all your Pradco lures at the click of a button. Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more. Plus, the site has exclusive deals and baits you're not going to find anywhere else. Free shipping on all orders over $35. So treat your fishing buddy or yourself to some tackle box treasures. Check them out at LureNet.com today. All right, Colton, you recently just downloaded the Masters app like I did. What is going on as of Friday morning in Augusta?
Through 9 holes, the leader in the clubhouse this morning right now is Justin Rose, still clinging to the 8-stroke advantage that he has over everybody right now. Bryson DeChambeau also has gone 3 under today. He's at 6 under in sole possession of second place. Tommy's boy Aberg now is through 6. He's even today. And Ty, I don't know what time you're going to get out of here today on this beautiful Friday. I hope you can enjoy it. But at 12:01, your boy Minwoo Lee will be teeing off. Other names to watch right now, Scotty Scheffler. He will be teeing off this afternoon as well around 12:20. And then there are some really, really good golf happening today. I am excited to watch my boy Ashke Bhatia. He was getting really spinny with it yesterday early, and I hope that he can continue to move forward because, like I said, never seen a professional athlete that my body looks similar to more than his, and I'm excited to watch him.
That's why you're a fan. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. But right now, Justin Rose still in the lead through 9 today. He's 1 under total, but 8 under for the entire Masters so far. Bryson DeChambeau making a surge with 3 under through 5 today. He's at 6 under for the entire Masters.
All right, that is your Masters update here on a Friday morning. Of course, we're going to have plenty of reaction on Monday to what happened in Augusta this weekend. We haven't talked a lot of football just yet this morning. I want to go back to earlier this week. The dynamics, like Bobby Petrino's in year 2, Travis Williams year 3. I'm 99% sure it's in year 3. But listening to Coach Petrino, spring games next week. We'll tell you more about what we're doing next week as well. I know there's a lot of question marks about what the offense is going to look like with a completely new crop of wide receivers. Here's just kind of how Petrino feels about where he's at as an offensive coordinator with this football team right now.
Like when I was at A&M, assistant coaches weren't involved or knew anything about the nil or anything like that. It was just you guys coach, and this all goes to this department. So that was a good deal. You know, you didn't have to worry about it. Sometimes you lost a kid or two because of you didn't know and you couldn't like help recruit them, but that's how they dealt with it there. I'm enjoying my role. I'm happy being in the classroom. It's been a lot of fun. being back teaching every day in the classroom and the relationships you build with the players. And, they know way more about me than anybody else on the football team. So that's been kind of cool.
I think all of you have questions. I know I do about what this offense could be under Bobby Petrino in year number 2. I really wish Andrew Armstrong was back for another season. I mean, he was spectacular last year, led the SEC in so many different categories at that position. Didn't have a lot of help at times. He was Talen's number 1 target, and played in one less game because he did not participate in that initial game, I guess, against UAPB. And then after that, just went on a run, and not just in non-conference, but the SEC as well. So this offense is really, I mean, it's about Talen getting the chemistry with some players. You've got connections to Bobby Petrino, like Raylan Sharp, Fresno State, Missouri State. We've talked about Cam Shanks, the UAB kid, who hopefully is going to help you out in special teams as well. Cisse, I mean, Colton, there's a lot of names, kind of like in baseball, and Aaron just rattled off a bunch of Arkansas players just there with the baseball team. I mean, you gotta pull out the depth chart and see who's going to be on this roster at the wide receiver position next year. And we don't even know if they're going to add more guys out of the portal at that position too.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of unfamiliarity off the bat with just who's going to be our pass catchers this year, because like you said, Ty, the majority of the core of your production and the names that we all know and have been so productive the last couple of years, they're gone. And so this is going to be a true test of whether or not Talen Green can be an SEC quarterback legitimately. I think there were some things that he did last year that were great, and he wasn't very healthy the whole time. But one thing I think will help this year is he'll have a lot more time. Everybody we've talked to about the offensive line seems to think that they're more up to snuff for what an offensive line in this conference should look like. They went in the portal and addressed that quickly, swiftly, and I think did a really good job landing, offensive tackles from Oregon, Ole Miss, lots of different places, brand name schools, guys that are really, really highly recruited out of high school and were big in the transfer portal. So they're going to have a lot more depth there, a lot more opportunity to give Talen more time to make these decisions. And I know that Coach Petrino has been really, really harping on Talen Green and all of his quarterbacks just about how important decision making is for that position. So I'm not really sure that it's going to matter, how great or good these receivers are. I think that if Talen's up to snuff, he's going to get him the ball, because I trust that this offense and this system is going to work this year if there's a little bit more time to give Talen the time he needs to throw.
Petrino talked about the offense a little more.
I believe that we'll be a lot better on offense, more consistent, more explosive, because our quarterback understands not only what we're doing, but what the conference is all about. How you have to be able to get the ball out of your hand, how you have to be able to see things and know what you're doing just because of the pass rush that you're going to get and the tight coverage that you're going to get. So I think he'll take a huge step forward. And as your quarterback goes, your offense usually goes.
We saw Andrew Armstrong take a massive jump year 2 in Fayetteville. Hopefully we'll see a similar jump for Talen Green. More Arkansas football conversation next week. Going to hear more from Travis Williams. Probably the most interesting thing he said yesterday. I don't have the clip, but he basically said, I don't even want to reveal who the guy that's been standing out of practice, because he and other coaches are worried that his guys or anyone else are going to get poached. Arkansas doesn't have unlimited money, at least on the football side of things. So that's a scenario and setup that I know haunts other coaches, not just Coach T. Will, but other coaches in the profession too, Colton.
Well, I think we're all a little bit gun shy about having our guys taken away from us, because it seemed to be a trend here recently. We've had starters from our team, legitimate, SEC guys that could have gone anywhere, and they've jumped ship to a rival school. So I think there's a little bit of there's some hesitance there, uneasiness, yeah, of course, but it's also good to just keep those things in house, because you never know. You don't want somebody to come in there and take him, and you don't want to get in that player's head, make him think he's got an ego now. So there's lots of different ways that coaches manage that, and T. Will is great. I hope whenever the time comes and maybe Sam decides to step away or whatever, things change in the future, I hope he gets a serious look if he's still around, because he's great. And this team, I think this year can be a lot better than folks are going to give him credit for to start.
Hey, this morning we are brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions. They have opened up their second location in Sallisaw, Oklahoma, right across from the courthouse to serve Sequoia and LaFleur County. So you can do all the family law. You can do a bunch of other things too. Wrecks, slips and falls, dog bite cases. Jackie Mock is the one to call and help you get that insurance check or wreck check. Listen, times can be tough for some of us, and they understand that. So rather than ponying up a $5,000 retainer and they get asked for more money down the road, flat fees, low down payments, and payment plans. Laws have changed, and yes, joint custody is the default, but they're not afraid to go to trial, and they are successful when they do. MockLegalSolutions.com. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. All right, as we wrap up today's program, again, appreciate everyone joining us, whether you're listening on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, or our Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. I think it's important to note that Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, is competing in Miss Maine's USA pageant. I think that is how we need to end today's program, is letting all of you out there know that Coach Belichick's girlfriend is out there to compete. Colton, will she win Miss Maine USA?
I don't
Yes
know.
or no?
I don't know if she'll win the pageant, but I'll tell you this: I think North Carolina is going to win more football games than people think they will this year. I'm already sucked into all the clips that I've seen from Coach Belichick at practice. He's going to win there.
You're high on high on what's going on in Chapel Hill. That place, of course, is a basketball palace. The Dean Dome, Michael Jordan, James Worthy, Kenny the Jet Smith, Tyler Hansbrough, Ty Lawson. I mean, there's been so many college Hall of Famers and Naismith Hall of Famers, I should say, that have come through that place. But maybe Belichick gets it going in football as well. Halftime coming up, Phil Elson, Matt Jones momentarily. I know Phil's really excited for this game in Athens, Georgia today, not just the game, but the series as well. Just a reminder, Arkansas baseball at 5 o'clock. You'll hear Phil on most of these stations starting at 4:30, and then the game on Saturdays at 3. Final game of the series at 12 o'clock on Sunday. Hopefully the Razorbacks can continue on and turn that 11-game winning streak into 12. Appreciate Colton Little. Appreciate Aaron Fitt, Lang Whitman, Sean the Fenceman, and everyone else that's joined us this morning. So for all of us here at ESPN Arkansas in the Morning Rush, I'm Ty Richardson. Enjoy the rest of your Masters weekend. Hopefully, I'm just playing
Min Woo Lee, baby.
Min Woo Lee. That's my guy, Min Woo Lee. Don't even know his name. Halftime coming up next. Talk to you all on Monday.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV.